Checking on Money Matters this morning, Mattel's new action figures honor everyday heroes on the coronavirus front lines.
And Seaworld seeking taxpayer help as it is forced to close. Jane King joins us live with those stories and more in this morning's Money Matters report. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Bruce and Jen. Good morning to you. Yes, one of the largest theme park operators in the U.S. turning to federal taxpayers to try to stay afloat. We're talking about Seaworld here, even though it does have critics accusing it of paying little in federal taxes over the past decade. Now, the Orlando Sentinel reports the Seaworld is seeking a government loan. It's meant for small to mid-sized businesses because it is costing the company $25 million a month to be closed. But financial statements show that the company had a pre-tax profit of $193 million over the past decade, but paid less than $8 million in total income taxes. That's according to the Sentinel, which obtained the Seaworld financial statements. Well, jobless claims continue to grow in the millions. We expect 3.5 million more to be announced today. So this will be for the week ended April 25th. Those numbers will be out in about an hour. Now, meantime, we could actually have jobless numbers that are even millions more than that. A lot of people are unable to access their state's website, or maybe their claims haven't been processed yet, as the state unemployment offices are overwhelmed by the surge of newly laid off workers. And the share of Americans getting married has fallen to its lowest level on record. So this is a reflection of financial insecurity, also just changing norms in society. The National Center for Health Statistics says the U.S. marriage rate fell 6% in 2018. That's the lowest since the government started keeping track of this, which was back in 1867. Many Americans opting to form households without tying the knot. And toy giant Mattel honoring workers on the front lines of the coronavirus fight by releasing a special series of action figures modeled after first responders. So this line has EMTs and nurses and doctors. They have scrubs and stethoscopes. The Thank You Heroes line available on the Mattel website for $20. Live from New York, I'm Jane King. Back to you.
Great idea. Thank you, Jane.